Plastics. For when you want to pay for water, pay to carry your groceries home from the shop, pay to kill that turtle who said that thing to you at Birmingham Sea Life Centre 5 years ago. What are plastics? Let's take a look. Plastics are made up of polymers, although it's important to know that not all polymers are plastic. There are 4 types of polymers: linear polymers, branched polymers, cross-linked polymers, and network polymers. The simplest linear polymer is polyethylene, also called polyethylene. If I think you're American, the internet wasn't very clear on this one. It is a linear polymer because it is, well, linear, and so it is very easy to stretch in one direction, but very difficult to stretch in the other, as you can see here. As one side, the covalent bonds return to their original position, and the other side you are pulling on empty space, so it keeps its distance and remains plastically deformed. Next you have branched polymers like ABS plastic, and its chain is made of 3 groups where the A, B and the S come from, and because they've got really chunky groups on them, they're very hard to compress, very hard to stretch. Lego boasts really high pressure ratings and heat resistance in their product, and they use ABS plastic. Next we have network polymers like this one. This is fiberglass, and I couldn't find any examples in my house, but there might be some behind this wall because apparently it's used a lot in insulation. Finally, we have cross-link polymers, which are exactly what they say on the tin. They're polymers that are linked to other polymers. These are used in things like car tires because they're very hard to compress. And at the moment you're seeing what is called vulcanization, which is not the grumpy guy from Star Trek. It just means the addition of non-polymer compounds to polymers in order to strengthen them. Now, the appeal of plastic for manufacturing is that you can dye it all in one batch of liquid and then mold it, unlike wood where you'd have to create it and then paint it, which is where pigments like this one, which is apparently blue, come into use. You add it to molten plastic and then bada bing bada boom, you have blue plastic. From there you can make blue Lego bricks, blue suits, blue basically anything that exists in the world. It doesn't necessarily have to be pigments added to molten solution either. This is titanium dioxide, and it can be added to plastics to really strengthen them. So this is PVC, polyvinyl chloride, and it's used in guttering and things like that. And when you add titanium dioxide, you get stronger, more weather-resistant guttering. And certainly if you go down to your local B&Q or hardware store, you'd find titanium dioxide strengthened PVC. Pigments can also be a detriment though. Brown Lego pieces are known to be brittle and snap, and it's led to Lego having to replace the pigment they use because it was literally so weak. And white plastics tend to decolorize when they're exposed to the sun. Anyone who owns anything white and plastic would know if you've left it on a windowsill for a few days, you come back and it's changed colour. You can also change how you get rid of plastics by adding the right thing. This is benzophenone, and this is anthraquinone. And if you add these to plastics, they become photodegradable. That is, when you expose them to UV light, they degrade faster, which is a really cool tool against pollution. You can also use metal stearates to catalyze reactions with UV light. Failing that, you can use plastics as feedstock polymers, where they're melted down and remade into different items. However, this only really works with thermoplastic polymers, as thermosetting ones obviously harden when you heat them. Finally, you can combust them into energy sources. And the BBC recently did a really good article on this that I can highly recommend you read. I'll put a link in the description and in the comments. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I mentioned Lego a lot in this video. Feel free to join me next week when we'll be talking about carbon. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye. Oh, and also like and subscribe, obviously.